Hi guys, we're here today to talk about Google's new Allo app, and this is an instant messaging app which is being pitched as a challenger to WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, even Snapchat, and yes, iMessage of course. So let's talk about what the app offers. Is it time for you to give up on WhatsApp? And more importantly, the privacy issues that are being raised with Google's new Allo app. So we've got Swapnil here. So Swapnil thinks that using Allo is not such a smart idea.
Not at all.
So let's start with that. So what are your concerns with Allo?
So I have two major issues. One is of course the privacy bit. The fact that at I/O Google said everything is going to be encrypted, and then they launched the app and right away they backtrack on it. So that's not setting a good precedent. They justify it by saying that the built-in Google Assistant, which is supposed to give you one, contextual responses, and two, just kind of help out with suggestions. That's how the AI will learn. That if it needs to read your messages to learn about you, so it can give you responses for what you need. However, one, they're storing all that data. That's a concern. And then secondly is in terms of conversation, when you're talking to people, human interactions are human interactions, and if we start replacing them by machine learned responses, how genuine is that conversation to begin with?
So, okay, there's another way to look at it as well. For instance, say when you're in the car and you don't want to type, you're on the go, the Google Assistant can sometimes give suggestions which are quicker, because sometimes it might say okay or yes or no, and you might just pick that up instead of typing. And there's also convenience to it as well, and a lot of people are going to look for that, and Google is not the only one that wants to do something like this. We know that the other apps as well are also looking at machine learning and giving, they have not yet reached the stage of maybe auto suggestions like say Google has, because obviously we're so dependent on the Google universe, but it is getting there.
No, my question is, if you go way back to the old Nokia days when we had the T9 predictive texting, it was fairly good at predicting what you were typing. As you would type something, it would give you rolling suggestions. The now defunct Windows Phone, I believe, probably had the best predictive algorithm in the business. And so if they were able to do that without, okay, fine, reading messages, fine, but storing them for the record, always, that is a huge concern, and that's something. And have you seen the Edward Snowden tweet where he points out that Google, every time Google's been subpoenaed to release records, they have done so.
Yeah, but they also say that if the law demands that they should give out records, they will give out records. So that's the legal.
In comparison, for example,
might not want to run foul of the law. There's nothing wrong with
absolutely.
that.
But in comparison to
the counter to that is there's an incognito mode where you can go in and the chats are all end-to-end encrypted, and you set a expiration date. Interestingly, they have a never option. Like, why would you put a never option in a incognito mode? So they have you can set like say 5 seconds, 1 hour, 1 week, and the messages get deleted after that time. So those messages are not being stored. The Google Assistant doesn't turn up out there. And so they're saying that's the answer to your privacy thing.
But why wouldn't I just use Snapchat in that case? It's already there.
But Snapchat is also storing your data for 30 days.
30 days and
30
then
days
gone.
After that, it's gone. But within that 30 days, it's if that message is, say, if police wants a record, Snapchat can.
It can be recovered. But then there's WhatsApp, which is not storing anything on their servers.
Which says it's end-to-end encrypted
as well
by default. But do note that your messages are never deleted. I mean, unless you sit and actually delete every single chat on WhatsApp, your messages are still there on the device. So if your device is compromised, or your WhatsApp messages can be read by someone, but then again, that doesn't happen to most people unless you.
I just feel with Google's, I've always had this issue with the pervasiveness Google has had with respect to the data that I put on their service. Technically, if you think about it, they're in your email, they're reading your search, they're everywhere. And so they already know so much. And to me, texting is a fairly private affair. What I text between myself and any other person is extremely private. And to be able to give that information as well to a company which already has so much, I don't want to give them every piece to the puzzle, And I think that should also be a concern to a lot of people. Do you want a company to have a piece of every puzzle that is your social life?
So we're seeing that concern also getting raised with WhatsApp recently, because WhatsApp is going to start sharing data with Facebook as well. And Google is now getting into the messaging terrain, and we know the reason why they're doing this because WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger have dominated messaging, and we've seen pretty much mobile search is kind of like dead, and it's moving towards messaging where people are doing a lot more inside the messaging app itself. And it makes sense that Google wants a product I mean, yeah, GChat used to be really great, but then Hangouts came, and I don't know what we're doing with that.
Yeah, it never really picked
yeah,
up,
it
to
never
be
really
honest.
picked up. I mean, a lot of people are still using it at work, but I don't think it's become.
It's not the
It's not the
mainstay.
essential app for you
I think
anymore.
even if I talk about where I would still go to WhatsApp, even over Facebook Messenger for that matter, if I want to have a conversation with somebody. So I think they've also had the first movers advantage.
Yeah, because WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger both have 1 billion users, and so Allo has
Yeah.
it has to convince people that it's an app that they need, that they don't need to delete this app.
Yeah.
That this is going to be their messaging app.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is easy. I think we all agree on that.
And especially with this negative PR they've picked up right at launch with the whole privacy issue, I think is a little
Yeah.
bit. It'll be an uphill battle for them. But let's see. I mean, I think within the year we'll have a clearer picture of where they stand.
We've seen the Duo app cross 10 million downloads already, so who knows?
So that was our conversation on Google's new app Allo, which you can download both on Android and iOS. And if you're going to use it, we recommend some level of caution, I guess.
Yeah, and you can also log into IndianExpress.com and get the tips on how to use it. There are a lot of features it offers, which some of which WhatsApp doesn't have yet, like stickers, etc. So if you want to try those out, Allo's there.